I just love that with all that's going on in your life and the world that we have carved out time to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the digital shorts premiere and the entrance of the Lonely Island into the broader
Has it been
cultural.
20 years? Has it been 20 years? It has to be, right? Yeah,
Yes. Well,
about
you
20.
just dropped, as of this recording, you just dropped your 2005 mixtape.
Right.
And from, unless my, YouTube research is incorrect, it said that it all started in the 31st season of our of our Lord Lorne Michaels
No, you're
in
definitely right. It's
2005.
gotta be. Yeah, you're right. It is. Wow, amazing. Well, this is perfect
Yeah.
timing then to to do this thing that we just jokingly promised we would do on the Bear podcast, which
Yeah.
is the Lonely Island mixtape. We've each selected five items, songs, but like
Yeah.
I was sort of being really broad with what I considered to be like a Lonely Island song or piece of musical content. Um, I thought probably you couldn't get away with like a Lonely Island sketch that had no music in it. But
Correct. Yeah. I adhered to those guidelines. Yeah.
there are
Yeah.
almost none anyway. So yeah, so like let's just jump right in. Here's what I want to hear your number five. What's number five on your Lonely Island countdown?
Okay. So for me, number five is Boombox featuring Julian Casablancas.
Oh
So
yeah.
are you gonna share if you had a double or
Yeah.
we'll wait for
Yeah,
your
I'll chime in
reply?
if it's on my list. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
I'm hoping we'll have somehow found 10 different ones.
Imagine in your mind a posh country club. The stuffy old money where the poor get snubbed. The spread is bland, sauerkraut and boiled goose. There's no way these people will ever cut loose. But
I
then
was a Strokes fan when I first saw this. I don't have the year in front of me of when this. I just remember like visually, it was so interesting and felt. It wasn't just like, hey, here's a cool song.
Yeah.
We're gonna put a lot of effort into making this really compelling story and music video. And like there's this cut at the beginning which sort of plays off of the John Cusack in "Say Anything," where he's holding the boombox above his head, and I'm kind of thinking that that's where this whole story is going to go. It just goes in a completely different direction, which is what makes me sit up and pay attention and try and follow all the twists and turns as they go.
Yeah, it on the Lonely Island podcast, they have not made it up to this yet, but they've got to be getting close actually, because this is 2010. But they talk a lot about like sketches having like turns in them, and it's
Yeah,
very
yeah,
clear that as writers, what they really admire is like a high number of turns, like a high
sure.
number of you think it's going in this direction, but it's going to redirect and actually go in this other direction instead. So yeah, I'd actually totally like this one had escaped my mind, but what a fun like because they get so many interesting people to sing the hooks on Lonely Island songs. And what an unexpected but perfect
And
choice.
this is, you said it's
This
2010.
is 2010. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So do you have a sense of like which Strokes albums would have been out at this time? Like where does this song land? And I know he did a solo project
Yeah,
probably somewhere around here as well.
this was probably in the midst of Julian Casablancas as a solo artist, because the Strokes kind of had two albums in the early aughts and then kind of like
Hmm.
a dormant period, but before they sort of came back and have had like a more, I don't know, steady middle-age friendly pace of their album releases.
Sure.
Yeah. So look, I think yeah, because so First Impressions of Earth was in 2006, and I think of that as being like the third of the first wave of this. The Strokes put
Mm.
out three albums, then it was 5 years before Angles came out.
Oh,
So
okay, okay.
this was right at the end of the longest stretch before of Strokes of no Strokes albums.
Well, and maybe I'm going to say that this sort of kicked off that return to form, or returns. Like, you know what? I actually like making music. I like doing this. I want to, you want to get back into the game a little bit.
This the data would support your claim because
Yeah.
2011 is when Angles comes out, which is the Strokes kind of comeback album.
everyone was wearing fingerless gloves. Whoa, I saw a Spanish guy doing the apartment. Transport now to an old folks' home.
I remember just watching this with my kids, especially my youngest daughter. She was in this really fun, I like to dress up in weird clothes kind of phase, and she had some fingerless gloves.
Yeah.
And there was a part in the song to where they're describing the world and everyone's wearing fingerless gloves.
Right. Yeah. I remember that.
A Spanish guy doing the Bartman. I don't know if you remember that lyric. It's got Fred Armisen as the Spanish guy.
Mm-hmm.
And like the whole idea of doing the Bartman. Are you too young to remember the Bartman?
I very distinctly remember the Bartman. I had a VHS recording that my grandmother recorded the Bartman music video on it for me like 5 or 6 times in a row.
Oh, yes.
And I would just watch straight through every single dub of that performance. Yes, that was a huge song for my childhood.
Oh, watching it again recently, I had, the nostalgia of 2010 and then like the double nostalgia of like, 1991 or 92 or whatever that whole Bartman thing was going on.
And this is a good, as we sort of think about all the things that make the Lonely Island, I think they had obviously just a huge impact on humor and in general, they were just hugely influential. But then I think one of their many contributions to the genre of joke music is, they probably weren't the first people to ever have like the real musicians guest star on the songs, but like Weird Al didn't do that when I was a kid. Weird Al didn't actually have Coolio on the track. So
yeah.
That's kind of like a revolutionary thing too. And when you look through the history of Lonely Island songs, it's like a really deep bench.
Oh yeah.
Of the people that it rivals like the fact that, Kanye West would get like Elton John on a song, you'd be like, what? How did that happen? But then you're like, it's actually no more shocking than getting Michael Bolton or whatever. So if you're Andy Samberg. All right. My number 5.
Okay.
My number 5, this is maybe recency bias here, but I don't think so. My number 5 choice is a song called Sushi Glory Hole.
Okay. This is very
Glory
new.
hole, imagine that. Instead of strange dick, you be getting a snack. High-end fish, no doubt. Hey, where you going? Hear us out. 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 Hey, where you going? Hear us out. 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 Hear us out.
But I've been listening to a lot this year, and it unlocked something about the Lonely Island for me that I don't think I was paying attention to as it was happening. But in my sort of re-listens this year, I've noticed that they do an incredible job of approximating whatever the preeminent rap style is at the time. And that's not the only thing they can do. They have songs where they're very clearly aping the Beastie Boys. Sure. They have a song that did not make my top 5, but I love the song Punch You in the Jeans, which is a extremely specific Jurassic 5 parody. And they are rapping in exactly the style of the Jurassic 5. And it's just so funny. And I was sending it to a couple of friends recently because I was like, the people in the Venn diagram of like people who think Andy Samberg is funny and who are familiar with the stylings of Jurassic 5 is very narrow. And yet here's a whole song just for you. So anyway,
and what's funny for me, you say Jurassic 5. I don't even know what that is. I think you're referring to Jurassic Park 5, Jurassic World Escape from
Dominion.
Wherever.
Yeah. No, okay. Jurassic 5 is like an old school hip hop group, and
now I gotta look them up.
What I always joke about them is that like every single one of their songs has like the word vocab and like paragraphs in it. Like they are constantly rapping about their literary prowess. So they're very fun.
Flex. It's a good flex for rappers.
And if you listen to a couple of Jurassic 5 songs and you go back and you listen to Punch You in the Jeans, you're like, oh, this is what they're doing. But so Sushi Glory Hole, to me, it actually it sounds like my friend Kyle, who is like a rapper right now. And like when I listen to it, I'm like, this is the way that Kyle raps, and he's plugged in to like the current cool rap style. And I'm like, it's amazing that Andy Samberg, as a dad in his 40s now, is still plugged in enough to be able to continue to ape, the current sound. And
Sure.
so that's why, and I just think the chorus of that song with the just hear us out like is so funny. It just makes me laugh so much. Don't leave, hear us out.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
yeah, it's great. So I love Sushi Glory Hole. It's such a silly song, but I've listened to it like 100 times this year.
That's cool. I think I listened to it the once, and then maybe because yeah, for whatever reason, haven't returned to it. So now
Hmm.
you've encouraged me to return to it again, and maybe try and appreciate the musical side, because like your brain's locked into different things as you're watching one of these videos.
Oh
Like
yeah.
there's the musicality, there's the lyrics, there's the visuals of the storytelling, and then if you get caught up in some sort of deeper layer of
Mhm.
what they're communicating, you may miss, 15, 20 seconds of something else, and it rewards repeat viewings and listens.
That's true. All right, give me your number four.
All right, my number four, get my list back out here, is Dear Sister.
Yes, this is on my
Did
list
it make
too.
it?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right.
This is number
So
two on my list.
What you say? That you only meant well, 'cause you did.
Well, the way that I came up with my list was like, I'm not going to pull up a list of all the digital shorts. I'm just going to say, can I just conjure up five that just run in my heart somewhere?
Me
And
too. That's what I did as well.
okay,
I just
beautiful.
searched the brain index. I didn't go looking. Yeah.
I had actually already been a fan of Imogene Heap,
Yeah.
and like when this song came, I was like, oh, I know this song. This is a great song. I was not aware of the tie-ins with the
The
OC.
OC, right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So since this is on your list too, do you want to jump in and we'll both dance, or do you want me to?
I mean, I'll you keep going for now. You're on a roll.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the whole Imogene Heap thing was like, okay, I like this song. I like Bill Hader, and Andy, of course, is in it, and it's like, okay, it's going to be funny eventually, right? But there's like no jokes at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's just played so straight, and then he gets shot, and you're like, how am I supposed to feel about this? And then it's the second shot when you think that Bill Hader is, or Andy Samberg's dad. I can't even remember which one. And then you hear the laughter kind of in the background of the studio audience, and you're like, oh, okay. So we're supposed to laugh at these guys shooting each other.
Yeah.
Guys, I just thought of the funniest thing.
What you say? That you only meant well.
And so that I don't know, that just kind of gets me primed to laugh. And then like the next scene is Shia LaBeouf. Like you actually hear him before you see him. He does this, his commitment to like taking the hit, the shock in his face,
Yeah.
how he falls onto the ground and like his cheek kind of jiggles, like he just owns like a fall on his face on the ground. If you notice, he's the only one that keeps like sort of changing his gun position between like the different shots. He's like upside down. He's bracing his shooting hand with like his wrist on his other hand, and he's just so into it that I'd already really loved him, and I loved him on SNL, and so it just cemented
That's
so
a
much
real
more my
actor.
appreciation for him. Yeah,
That's a real actor. He gives you a different take every time.
yeah.
Really gives the
So
editors a lot to work
Hey,
with.
Sarge, listen to this. Dear sister, by the time you read this, I'll be dead. This is how I think it's gonna happen. Dave will shoot me, then I'll shoot Dave, then Eric will enter and get shot by Dave. Then you'll come in and get shot by Eric, Dave, and I multiple times. Love, your brother Keith. P.S. Then two cops will read this letter and shoot each other. Now, isn't that the most ridiculous thing you...
And then just closing out with like Jason Sudeikis and Armisen, it's like I loved this cast. Like this cast was sort of the peak ensemble for me. I really loved Will Ferrell. Like he was like maybe my number one all-time SNL cast member. But in terms of this cast, I think this is the Mount Rushmore for me.
I
So,
agree. Yeah, I agree. And I think I mean, that's on the podcast. Seth Meyers always refers to it as "end golden era" of the
mm,
cast, and but I think it really is. I mean, he's being a little tongue in cheek, but I think it really is a great cast. And yeah, I just remember that the sense of humor in Dear Sister was clearly hugely influential on my friends and I, and just this kind of absurdism for the sake of nothing but absurdism, and the escalation of it too, where like the letter explains that like I think that
Right,
a police officer is going to come in, and then
yeah.
one will shoot that guy, and the way it just goes on and on, explains that stuff. I don't know, those kind of jokes have always really made me laugh, and I think this is the sketch that kind of got me on the frequency. I also just remember being bored in my apartment in East Boston in 2007, and I was just constantly making stop motion cartoons. And I
Mm.
remember making one where lots of different like action figures were shooting each other, and every single time they did, the what you say would start playing. So, yeah,
Perfect homage.
so I did just for the sake of that, and I wanted to have at least one like thing that was basically just a sketch that still had
Mm.
music in it on this
And that
mixtape.
is that this one? That song?
That's
Yeah,
this is
the
my one
sketch.
that's like this is a sketch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wondered the same thing. I was like, I think this qualifies because there is
Yeah,
a song
totally.
involved. But
Yeah.
yeah, did you have a context for the OC sort of reference parody
Not
of it? Were
really.
you
My brother watched the OC, and
okay?
I was aware that it had a lot of cultural touch points in common with me. Like a lot of the bands that I liked were like referenced on the OC and everything.
Hmm.
But I would just kind of like let him tell me about it. It was like, I think when the OC was in its heyday, I think I was like a senior in high school. And I think I
Mm.
just like didn't, I don't know, I had something else going on the night it was on or something, and that was the only
Yeah,
option at the time.
yeah. Well, my daughter, my 19-year-old, actually had just within the last 6 months done a rewatch or a first watch, I guess, for her
Mm.
of the OC. And I said, "Let me know when you get to that episode." She's like, "What episode?" She's like, "You'll know." Because I play this crap for my kids all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "I won't know." I was like, "No, you'll know." It's like, "Dad, this is." And then she texted me like 2 weeks later. She's like, "Okay, I saw it. That was great."
See, she knew. She knew
She
that you
did.
played the
She
long
did.
game on that one.
Yeah, that was satisfying.
All right,
All right,
so
what's next for you?
well, so we covered what is actually my number two. So we're going out of order, but that's fine. That's fine.
Cool.
My number four choice. This is like again, I was getting kind of weird with my choices, okay? But the song is called Super Cool, and it's from the Lego Movie 2. It is Beck
Oh
and
yeah.
Robin and the Lonely Island. So this is kind of for my kids because my children love the Lego movies. We've watched the three main ones. There's a Lego Ninjago movie we have never checked out, but we've seen the Lego Movie 1, 2, and the Batman Lego Movie twice each. Which
Those are the canon.
Yeah.
The Ninjago one, I think that's apocryphal. Yeah.
Yeah, my children are not really like rewatch movie type kids. They always want what's new. So the fact that they've gone back and watched all of these is like a mark of huge respect, but also the songs from both movies. Everything is Awesome, which The Lonely Island had a hand in as well. And this song and a bunch of other ones from the Lego Movie 2 are in heavy rotation around our house. But also, I just think it's so funny. This is a rap where Beck and Robin are singing the hook, but the Lonely Island are just rapping about end credits.
It's the credits, yeah, that's the best part. When the movie ends and the reading starts, you can keep your adventure and all that action. Cause the credits of the film are the main attraction. And don't even think about trying to leave, or you might miss a name, like Pam and Steve. Both incredible names, so let's stay in our seats and read a credible list of their incredible feats.
Because this song plays over the end credits of the movie. And in fact, if you watch the movie, it's extremely long. Like this song has like 6 verses. And as it goes on, the song starts to become about how long the credits are. And like they're expressing surprise at how long, like it seems like these credits are too long. Now that's not, if you go on Spotify and you listen to Super Cool, those verses are not in there. Like
Really?
yeah, it's like a regular radio edit that you can find on Spotify. But either way, it's very funny. A rap about end credits playing over end credits is just, to me, that's the perfect joke.
Yeah.
So that's why I like this song.
And we're back, and still loving the credits. Can't wait to see the one about the person who edits. And even better than that is who edits the credits. I bet I'll never forget it, 'cause once I read it, then I'm ready. I'll go get the theater about 90 minutes late. Skip the whole dang movie, 'cause the credits are great. Now if you're gonna be featured on a movie song, the credits is the part that you wanna be on.
I'm realizing that a lot of my selections on this came down to some stuff that I would share with my kids, and we would get into that sort of, hey, let's watch it again, or "Hey, it's been a couple of years. It's a Sunday afternoon. We're a little bored. What do we want to do? Well, let's fire up YouTube and go down the nostalgia hole for a little bit."
That's what sticks in
So
your head about
it's good.
comedy, as opposed to like, I mean, I could say, I guess like horror movies are one too, where it's like it's a collective communal experience. But like a lot of other media, music and things like that, it's sort of about your own internal experience. But with comedy, it's like about, I mean, I think all the time about the guy I was sitting next to when I saw Borat. Like that guy was
It was a stranger, right?
we were both losing our minds laughing at Borat, and we had a great time together. I feel like
He's
if
out
I
there
saw him,
somewhere.
yeah, this was like in Philadelphia, so I'm not like seeing him on the street now. But if I was back in Philadelphia and I saw him, I feel like I'd be like, Borat,
I bet
you
he
and,
would remember you too. Yeah,
you and
yeah.
me.
That's
Uh,
oh my gosh.
so all right, so let's see. Now I did. So that means it's time for your number three.
Yeah. So my number three is Mother Lover.
Oh, this is a good one.
So the middle chapter of the Justin Timberlake and Andy Samberg, getting arrested trilogy, and like just the fact, I don't know if they had done a sequel to a song yet when this came out,
I don't
but
think
like Dick
so.
in the Box was such a huge thing, um, and it was like 5 months later, and you see them in their outfits, so you're immediately like brought back to the nostalgia of that whole moment.
Yeah.
And then when the beat clicks in, because that like Dick in a Box is kind of a slow jam kind of thing, and then when the beat kicks in and the tempo of the song starts, and then you're just in.
I'm a mother lover, you're a mother lover. We should fuck each other's mothers, fuck each other's moms. I'm pushing that lane where you came out as a babe. Ain't no doubt this shit is crazy. Fucking each other's moms.
I already know that I like these guys. Justin Timberlake can do like nothing wrong in this era, and the song slaps. It's just you're there.
Yeah. It's also like I feel like a joke like this, like it's the extremity of the joke, I feel like is
Yes.
it's like it's actually sort of gone now because like these guys have brought that kind of humor so mainstream that like I don't know if people can really have proper context for what it was like when that song came
Sure.
out
Sure, it
because
was like jarring then, and,
yeah,
and now they've moved the line.
I
And
couldn't believe they were getting away with it, but it was so funny. Yes, I think I might have seen this one like live. Like I think I might have
oh
been
yeah,
watching
yeah.
Saturday Night Live that night. It's hard to remember now because I haven't watched Saturday Night Live like the live broadcast in like,
Mm,
10 years or something.
yeah, yeah,
But I think I used to always watch it. So,
yeah. This one would have been Mother's Day, so May-ish,
yeah,
something. It might have even been like the season finale, and I feel like I knew that Timberlake was hosting the season finale, and that at that point was pretty much must see TV.
right.
If Timberlake was going to be on SNL, and
Absolutely.
so I remember watching it live. I might have even been watching it like with my mom, or like like there was something to where it was like, can we laugh at this, or
Yeah.
is this okay?
Yeah.
And I mean, there's like when Susan Sarandon shows up, it just like put it in this other level of like, oh, they went all out for this,
Right.
and I mean, just so many ridiculous lines. Like you said, they commit to something that's so over the top that almost nothing feels, as long as you're not using like swear words, but even those they sort of like bleep out,
Right.
and it's like, okay, so you can really just say anything here,
Mhm.
and we're safe. We're watching it on broadcast television, and everything is up for grabs. There's not going to be nudity, but
Right.
they can probably describe whatever they want, and they'll probably get away with it.
Which is so like that the idea that like wait a minute, you can't get away with doing this on TV is so antiquated now because like what
Yeah,
is TV has changed so much and like you can just pull up a Netflix show and see all kinds of stuff and hear all kinds of
sure.
stuff. So it's like the idea of that is it's like it's an antique notion. But yes, but at the time it was true.
Oh yeah. I can remember like when The Simpsons said like hell or damn, or maybe Ass. I want to say Ass was maybe like within a couple of years after that on Fox. Most of it was like Fox pushing stuff,
Yes,
which
because
is like
Fox had a
so weird.
reputation.
Yes.
I remember that. Like Fox had a reputation for like you can't watch that. That's the TV station where they say bad words.
Don't watch Married with Children. That'll send you right to hell. So
Yeah,
anyway, that's mine. And like just the way that they went all for it. Just I was actually a little disappointed in the third one, which is it's not gay if it's in a three-way or the
right.
triple play or the triple threat or something like that. That one was my least favorite of the trilogy, but it's just so hard to
How can
top.
lightning strike three times? You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, fair enough.
All right. So for my number three, going with Jack Sparrow. Um,
Oh, which is
which
great. That's my number two. That's my
Oh,
number
it is.
two.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. So I love this song because I think it genuinely has a great hook, for one thing.
Yes.
Like the Jack Sparrow hook is great. It's wonderful.
Yes.
Just the joke of the song is so funny and so well executed. Like we have this song about like being in the club and we brought in this singer, but he just can't stop singing about the movies he's seen recently. It's so silly. But yeah, but it really makes me laugh.
This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow, pirate so brave on the seven seas. What? A mystical quest to the isle of Tortuga, raving like sway on the ocean breeze. Yeah, that was kind of weird, but we're back in the club, buying up the bar so the groupie show us love.
Well, again, it comes down to like the commitment of the guest. Like Michael Bolton is all in.
Yeah.
Multiple costume changes, wig changes, like, and I think like in my head, so like there was like the whole Michael Bolton with like the long hair, and he was kind of like he was like in sort of the same category as Kenny G for me, as like this sort of weird guy that was like popular with people who are slightly older than me and like slightly less edgy things. There was that line in the movie Office Space where he gets where the other actor, excuse me, character named Michael Bolton gets
Yes.
pissed off and calls him a no talent ass clown, and it's like he's just been this butt of the joke forever.
Yeah.
And he just comes in and says like, you know what? I'm fine with being the butt of the joke. In fact, I'm going to get in on the joke and I'm going to go all in. And I'm going to dress up like Aaron Brockovich and, you know, Forrest Gump and the whole thing. I just was like, my hat is off to you. You are making this funny. Thank you for making it okay to laugh with you on this.
Michael Bolton, we're really gonna need you to focus up. Roger that, let me try with another film.
What I like about that song is that it's almost a song you could just put on a regular playlist, you know? Like,
Oh, I listen to it for enjoyment. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's
Again,
a lot
it's a
of
great hook,
talking at the beginning, which kind of, if you're like, if it's a party playlist or something,
Yeah,
it
I
kind of
guess
slows
you're
the
right.
momentum down a little bit, but it's fine. Like, it's worth it. All right, so that
Yeah.
means we should each have one song left.
That's true.
So tell
That's
me
true.
tell me your number one.
So my number one is what many people consider to be the number one, which is Lazy Sunday.
I'm glad that
So-
you picked it because I felt bad that I didn't.
That you didn't. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Well, one of us had to. And this one was definitely one that I saw live when it happened. It was around Christmas time of, I guess, 2005. This is the one that I was
Yeah.
researching that said this is where it all got started.
Lazy Sunday, wake up in the late afternoon. Call Parnell just to see how he's doing. Hello, what up, Parn? Yo, Sandberg, what's cracking? You thinking what I'm thinking? Party up, man, it's happening.
Yeah, the whole thing about Narnia, like just them being obsessed and going to see the new Narnia movie, which
Yeah.
I wasn't quite as obsessed, but it was definitely on my like cultural radar. And then making it sort of like the jokey sort of gangster rap, you know, video and how hardcore these guys are about Narnia, and then just extending it to everything, including like Magnolia cupcakes.
Yeah, it's just like having a day around the city and just rapping like it's the hardest thing. Yes, that's true. I, as a person who lived a lot of days like that, you know, like in the years right after that, I wonder if that's where I learned it from, you know, if I was just like, oh yeah, like I had a lot of days just kind of like wandering around the city before going to the movies. And I wonder how frequently I was hearing Lazy Sunday in my head when it was happening.
Well, and even like the trivia ahead of movie theaters, like I don't even, do they still do that anymore? Like
They do,
that,
yeah,
there's
they
some
still do.
nostalgia. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't even know, but The couple lines that really stuck out to me and that are like almost frozen was like where they're like trying to decide if they're going to use Yahoo Maps or MapQuest or
Yes.
Google Maps. Like what a freaking great like you know, box of time to you can, you know, remember what it was like to have to make those decisions together. And then the one towards the end said, you can call us Aaron Burr from the way we're dropping Hamiltons. I was like, again, my hat's off. Great line writing. And this is pre, you know, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Lin-Manuel Miranda probably
Renaissance.
heard that song and was like, hold on a second.
This inspired the whole thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
With no Lazy Sunday, there's no Hamilton. Wow, what a butterfly effect that is.
Yeah.
All right, well, so my number one is probably the second most obvious choice. It's I'm on a Boat.
Okay.
Which is a song that I just genuinely love. I like it in particular because I feel like it's a real showcase for Akiva Schaffer, who I don't necessarily think, you know, he's often kind of the third fiddle, in part because like Andy Samberg is like obviously the star. Yorma was on Girls, which was like a big deal, I remember. And then, you know, Akiva's like been a director. And so because of that, he's often pretty quiet. He's very deliberately like the least showy part in like Pop Star, which I think is a very funny movie.
Take a look at me, straight floating on a boat on the deep blue sea. Busted 5-9, wind whipping out my coat. You can't stop me, motherfucker, cause I'm on a boat.
So he doesn't get to show off very much, but he's so funny in I'm on a Boat, and his like that delivery is so perfect for that kind of the like angry show-off rap of the time. They were following along with the prevailing style of music, and so I'm on a Boat. It exemplified that style of rap music so well that it just became one of those songs. Like it was the kind of song that would be playing at a club in Florida. You know, they flew so close to the sun that they accidentally created just like a regular rap hit.
Yeah, no, that's kind of. I'm trying to think of another example of something like that where the parody is just it's too close in the best ways. And it almost seems like Lonely Island did some version of that all the way along.
Yes.
Gosh, yeah, that wasn't even on my list. I do kind of want to go back and maybe what I'll do is I'll review all of the there's some official list somewhere, right?
Right.
And I'll just send you an email of other ones that were highlights, and maybe you can read them off like with the post audio clip here at the end.
I had a couple of like obvious. I guess I'm trying to think. Well, the only two that I was like upset that I couldn't get on the list somehow were in two different ways. It's Equal Rights from Popstar, which is the one that's a very specific Macklemore parody, and it's where he's rapping about how gay rights are important, but it's extremely important to him to express that he's not gay while he is showing his support.
Yeah.
And that also like targeted a very specific type of person, a very specific type of, I don't know, progressive personality at the time that was just real. It was just really funny to see that laid out so specifically. And then the other one that this is like the deepest of cuts, but it just is Santana DVX. Do you know this song?
No, wait, yeah, no, this is way too deep. Where did this exist?
It's the first song on the first Lonely Island album. And it's a song about celebrity, like the fact it's Santana had a champagne line called Santana DVX. And the joke is that these guys are incredibly enthusiastic about Santana's champagne. So like the opening line of the song is,
as a kid, I used to lay awake and think, when was Santana gonna make a drink? But now
they're just the whole, and then eventually the rapper E40 appears in the song as Carlos Santana and starts rapping about how good he is at making champagne. But it's the dumbest possible joke. And so that's why I love Santana DVX.
And this one was just audio, right? This was not something they turned into a video.
No video for this one, just a song on other albums.
Yeah, there should be some sort of list also of the greatest Lonely Island audio tracks that what could have been, who
Yeah.
might have been cast in.
Yeah, the unmade sketches. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Did you ever? Again, I know you're like I don't know 7 years younger than me or something like that, and or maybe 10. I don't know how old you are. How old are you right now?
38.
38, and I'm 45, so 7. I had it right.
Yeah.
Did you ever listen to like Adam Sandler's audio comedy CDs, back in the day? And
I
like,
did, but like I couldn't own any of them. Like my cousins had them, so I couldn't sit there and like study them the way that I normally would comedy at
mm,
that age. So it's not as big. But Adam Sandler, you're right. That's like I was talking about Weird Al earlier, but Adam Sandler's like another huge point on the map here.
right, and the SNL tie-ins and all that. So like that was something that definitely hit my middle school years, and my sort of friend group pretty hard as well. Like everyone listened to that,
Hmm.
and yeah, there wasn't really a video component to it, but I sort of have them in sort of similar categories, and wondered if it hit you as well.
We're running out of time, but I wanted to ask you, as a father of children who are like more tapped into the culture than mine are, is there a modern, is there a modern Lonely Island equivalent?
Gosh, well, I know the "Please Don't Destroy" guys were sort of maybe. It almost
Yes,
seemed like they were a second tier or a poor man's version of Lonely Island.
I think that's
And I,
fair.
I don't have a sense of how much of the musicality was involved in some of their, digital shorts and sketches. And
Mm.
as of this recording, they're in some form of being broken up or being utilized in different ways. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no, based on what my kids have shared with me. I feel like it was a golden age, and I'm gonna say
Yeah.
no. What about you?
No, I don't. I mean, if there is, maybe it's on TikTok, but like I get it. This
Mm.
is a call to action for people out there, right? Like we don't have this in the culture. We need it.
Yeah,
We need a
no,
new
we
Lonely
do.
Island.
Just like the boombox, it can save the world. But you got to know your limits with the boombox.
I sell, I ship, I bet, I seal, I swag, that Gucci, the Lord, for real, the nuts, in my remains, it is the thing, under, this Lord, it kills, I sell, I bet, I seal, I swag, the Lord, for real, the nuts, remains, it is the thing, this Lord, it kills, so high up off this dope, I need a parachute. My man is belly cool. It's filled with residue. I got my dogs with me, and now I let them loose. Tell the cops lies, cause I can't tell the truth.
Okay, so let's talk about the Make a Mixtape movie canon. We have a little problem. And that problem is that I have already inducted 2 movies from 2025 into the canon, Sinners and Superman, and so it feels wrong to canonize another one so soon. But we have to. The movie's called One Battle After Another, and I saw it the day it opened at 11 in the morning, and immediately thought, and still think, a month later, that it's the best film I've ever seen. Yeah, I hope you had a chance to check it out in theaters. If you didn't, the good news is I think you'll get another chance when it wins a lot of awards, which it will. If you don't know about One Battle, it's the latest from Paul Thomas Anderson. It is a loose adaptation of Thomas Pynchon's novel Vineland, set in the modern era. Leonardo DiCaprio plays a member of a revolutionary group called the French 75, and the first thing you see them do is free migrants from an ICE detention facility. The bulk of the story takes place well after the French 75's heyday, as Leo and his daughter are living under assumed names in a fictional town in Northern California. This is, as I had hoped, PTA's dad movie. It's also a movie that is radically hopeful about the strength of community and our ability to fight back against the insanity and the cruel absurdity of our time. The many ways in which One Battle meets the moment is a huge part of its greatness, to be sure. And also, the end of the movie has the most perfect and beautiful needle drop, which I will not give away, but I burst into tears the moment that it started. But it was in the canon long before that. Truly, it was a shoe-in pretty early in the film, when Steely Dan's Dirty Work comes on, and is recontextualized as a sort of self-deprecating anthem about being a parent. I gotta tell you, Steely Dan on loud movie theater speakers with Benicio del Toro and the new and instant Hall of Famer Chase Infinity on screen together, it doesn't get better than that. That is the power of cinema, my guy. So yeah, One Battle, it's in the canon, but we can't just do 3 2025 movies in a row. It's too gimmicky, but as I always say, fight fire with fire, right? So we are going to fight gimmicks with more gimmicks. And that's why right now we're going to add 3 more PTA movies to the canon. The first one, obviously, is Boogie Nights. This was Paul Thomas Anderson's sort of world-shaking arrival on the scene, and it announces itself immediately as a member of the Make a Mixtape movie canon and as a world-historic piece of cinema with this incredibly long, bravura single-take sequence that starts from a crane that lowers to the ground and goes inside of a club, all set to The Best of My Love by The Emotions. From there, Boogie Nights is essentially a relentless jukebox of incredible music scoring incredible sequences. And for that reason, and for the epic scope of the story and the relentless camera moves, Boogie Nights is often compared to Goodfellas. And that's apt. But the percentage of banger songs in Boogie Nights is wildly out of proportion compared to Goodfellas, which is why Boogie Nights is in the canon and Goodfellas is not. It might be someday, but there are a couple of Scorsese movies that are ahead of it in the queue. The next PTA movie being inducted in this batch, along with One Battle and Boogie Nights, is Magnolia. I revisited Magnolia last year for the first time in probably 15 years, and it flattened me. Boogie Nights feels like a series of incredible set pieces set to pop songs. It feels almost like a series of music videos. But Magnolia feels like one single 3-hour music video. It feels like a continuous musical thought. And the voice articulating that thought is Amy Mann, whose songs are all over Magnolia, and which end up making her feel sort of like a second narrator or some other sort of godly force.
It's not what you thought when you first began it.
And that's the other thing about Magnolia that makes it so beautiful, that godly force. Magnolia is a movie that is basically like, what if your very big feelings were in fact part of a sort of grand universal design? What if it really is connected? What if when you cry, it rains outside? It is a gigantically hearted movie. And it's so sad, and it's so beautiful. And like One Battle After Another, and like a lot of Paul Thomas Anderson movies, honestly, it ends on a positively giddy note. Honestly, Paul Thomas Anderson probably has the greatest hit rate in the history of cinema. I do feel self-conscious about how many times I'm saying cinema, the history of film. That's not much better. But some of those masterpieces in PTA's catalog, like There Will Be Blood and Phantom Thread, pretty much exclusively rely on scores by Radiohead's Johnny Greenwood. And that's great. That's wonderful. That's a huge reason why those movies are so powerful and effective. But this podcast is called Make a Mixtape, which is why the fourth Paul Thomas Anderson movie that we're inducting into the Hall of Fame is called Licorice Pizza. I mean, it's named after slang for a vinyl record, after all. Licorice Pizza is often considered to be among the least of PTA's films, but it's always felt major to me, and maybe the closest I've related to a film's protagonist ever. Gary Valentine, played by Philip Seymour Hoffman's son, Cooper, is an energetic young hustler who moves from scheme to scheme, motivated not by money, but by a desire to discover just how much he can pull off. He's looking for opportunity and experience, and he's powered by relentless, unfocused creativity. Relatable. And that creativity is soundtracked, again, by dozens of bangers, perhaps most especially the Paul McCartney song Let Me Roll It, which many will say, perhaps correctly, is the single greatest needle drop in PTA's storied career. Okay, there you go. 4 Paul Thomas Anderson movies, all incredibly worth your time, all officially inducted now into the Make a Mixtape movie canon. It's a drastic move, I know, but my love for One Battle After Another, my love for all of these movies, is drastic. And it's also fitting to put this on the Lonely Island mixtape episode because PTA is married to Maya Rudolph and frequently works with Andy Samberg's wife Joanna Newsom. In fact, while we're at it, let's just add the video that PTA directed for the Joanna Newsom song Sapple Connican to the canon as well. I can't put that one on a letterbox list, but spiritually, it's in the canon. All right, that's all for today, gang. Thank you for listening. Be safe.